Hi, do you not know how to play pool? Like an idiot? Well, keep watching and you'll learn. But first, you're going to have to buy some good whiskey, because that's the number one step in this process of learning to be a professional pool player. So, let me take you out to the pool table in my garage, where you will learn everything you need to know. The table is in here. So, over this way, we will perform step number one. Good. Oh, we're gonna need ice. Crap. Step number two is to make sure that your ice machine in your freezer is on so that you have ice. Step number three is to go back out in order to pour the whiskey. Now we can move on to step number 5, 6, no 5, of actually playing pool. The first step in step number 6, step number 5, is to grab a pool cue, which is also known as a pool stick. A good practice is to lay it down on the pool table and to roll it like so. You can see through this method whether the stick is warped, and you don't want a warped stick. So, now that we've selected our pool cue, we're going to have to rack up the balls, which is what this rectangular wooden device is for. Step number 7 is to put all the balls into the rack. The 8 ball has to go in the middle, like so. Now the front of the rack device has to align with the second dots on the sides of the table, like so. You want to make sure all the balls are nice and snug in the rack. You want to make sure they're all touching when you remove the rack. Step number 13 is to take the cue ball. It has to stay behind the second dot on the sides of the pool table. That's where you shoot it from to break up the balls. So, a solid ball and a striped ball have both gone into pockets, which means I choose whichever one I want to hit next. You have to choose solid or stripes. Those are the only two types of balls, and those are kind of the teams. Two different opponents choose those two different sides. So at this juncture I can choose which one I want because I've made both in. Now, in order to shoot a ball, the best method is to put your hand down on the table like so, and put the pool cue between your index finger and middle finger. You then want to bend your index finger to touch your thumb like so. Now with this method you can also adjust the height of the cue stick by either spreading out your fingers or pulling them in. Okay. We're going to hit the striped ball in right here, into this pocket. Oh, and as far as your right hand is concerned, technique-wise, you want to keep it about right there on the stick. Not too far back, it has to be right there. And you have to kind of let it hang and hold it loosely. That was easy. Step number 32 is called English. And that's concerning where you hit the cue ball with your cue stick. If you hit it up high like so, after it hits the ball you're aiming for, it'll keep rolling. If you hit it low, like so, when it hits the ball you're aiming for, it'll stop or roll backwards. In this case, I kind of want it to roll backwards. So I'll try some bottom English. That worked well. So, as the game goes on, we obviously have to get in our balls. Mine are stripes, so I have to knock in all the striped balls on the table. There's no real sequence in which they need to go in. You just got to get them all in before you can hit in the 8-ball. Now, when you scratch, which is when you accidentally hit the cue ball in when you're trying to make a shot, then your opponent gets to take the cue ball and put it wherever they want on the table. So obviously you don't want to do that. And you especially don't want to do it when you're about to hit in the 8-ball. Because if you do it then, you lose. Game over. Doesn't matter how good you played. So now I'm going to try to hit in the 8-ball. Oh yeah. And you have to call which pocket you're going to shoot the 8-ball in. Because if you don't, then you lose. Again, it's all those stupid rules, you know? Alright, so right corner pocket. Oh! I just lost.